Hello, you're welcome to another edition of Greentility Show. Today I'm so excited to be here again because we'll be looking at a very key topic as it affects our environment and our health. Today's topic is water, sanitation, and sustainable development. We all know that water and sanitation play an important role in building a cleaner and healthier Nigeria. We have a big privilege to have as guest on the show today Mr. Similade Adeodun. Is a seasoned and experienced consultant in water resources. He is also the CEO of Aqua Planet Nigeria Limited. No other person to help understand what water, sanitation, and sustainable development is. Thank you so much, Mr. Similade, for joining us today on the show. Thank you. Let's have you now.
My name is Similade Adeodun. I'm a water resources and environmental consultant. I'm also the CEO of Aqua Planet Nigeria Limited. I'll be talking on water, sanitation, and sustainable development. But before I proceed, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Greentility for the privilege to talk on this topic for this week. You agree with me that water is very important. You use it, you drink it, you use it for domestic purposes, you bathe with it, you do all sorts of things with it. But that's not everything about water. We still use water in industry, we use water for agriculture, for everything. As you are, your body is also like 80% water. So water is you are water. But I'm going to be talking on something a little bit different from the norm, the access to safe and sufficient water. I'm going to be talking on relationship between water, sanitation, and sustainable development. Water and sanitation is the goal 6 of sustainable development goals. That's access to safe and sufficient water as well as sanitation. It is very important to talk about water. When we talk about water and we don't look at sanitation, we really can achieve sustainable development as far as water is concerned. We must look the two together. Sanitation is very important. Okay, now let me come to a very pertinent problem that we have currently now. We are in rainy season, and people around Lagos, the coastal area, can actually testify to how much of flooding they've been having for the past few weeks now. Particularly in a place in Lagos, Surulere to be precise, they had one nasty flooding that brought all sort of plastics, styrofoams, and all sort of wastes to their street, and the street was inundated with plastic, with wastes, inundated like the whole street. Very disgusting. So when we begin to look at the roots of the problem, we discover that sanitation was very poor in places like that, hence the flooding, the nasty flooding. These are places where people lack proper sanitation, where people dump their waste in waterways, and when it's rainy season, when we bring all these things out and bring them to the street, to the road, and the whole place get flooded. Now, the aesthetic part of the flooding, that kind of flooding is not the only problem. We also should be concerned about the health impact that this waste and all this flooding bring to our environment. They get to pollute our water, freshwater resources, our aquifer, our well, especially in Lagos. That's why you have a lot of contamination and pollution in their wells and their bowls. It brings all sort of pollution to that, and also it can lead to outbreak of diseases, cholera, diarrhea, and all sort of diseases. So what is the solution to this problems of water and sanitation? I would say integrated water resources management and proper sanitation. Integrated water resources management brings into consideration all the activities that we practice in a particular watershed. And that's not just how you sink your bowl or your well or your stream. It's all encompassing. It's bringing everything together. The activities, the farming activities, the waste management systems, the urban planning of that place. Everything must be well planned. Now, let me be frank. No matter how rich you are, if you like, you can live in VGC. If you like, you live in VI or Lekki or wherever you find yourself. If there is no proper urban planning that we take into consideration integrated water management as well as proper sanitation, you'll be affected one way or the other. I've been to places in Lekki, that you see their environment dirty. That's the right word to use. Dirty. And then you see that eventually they release their wastewater, their solid waste, and all sort of waste into the environment. This waste gets, they get to pollute their wells and their bowls. Eventually they get polluted water that they can't even use for bathing and other purposes. They start to look for water from other sources, buying water, and and other things that are not sustainable. So if you are talking about sustainable development in this regard, we mean having these resources, available for us in our own time for use, you know, having them to ourselves. We have access to these resources. We use them without destroying or jeopardizing the opportunity or the privilege of the coming generation to use the same resource or resources.
What a loaded session with Mr. Similade Adeodun. One of the things I learned today is that environmental consequences do not respect anyone, and this is why we all need to get involved and do our part to ensure that our environment is clean, healthy, and sustainable. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time again on the Greentility Show, ensure you do your part and do your role to keep a cleaner, healthier, and sustainable environment. Bye.